think so. Okay, so ready?
3,
3, 2, 1.
That's pretty fucking good.
That was, yeah, like we have a little, maybe like 5 milliseconds or whatever. Not bad. Okay.
Maybe nitpicky.
Being nitpicky now. Oh, and it's gonna get worse.
So what are we doing?
So, welcome to the Kinda Lost Podcast, episode 5.
You knew.
Yeah. This is episode 5, and we've had a prolonged break.
Has it been over a year since episode 4? How long
Probably.
has it been?
It's probably been a long time. I don't know.
It's definitely over a year.
Yeah, it's definitely been over
Did
a
I
year.
have bangs last time?
No. Well, no, I don't believe so. I don't think you had bangs.
Then it's been over a year.
So, yeah, it's been over a year. So, Kinda Lost Podcast, episode 5, the Sophia interview. This one we have planned really specifically to be a very in-depth questioning of co-owner of Lost Locals Media, Sophia Brown.
That's me.
And there are over like 36 questions
We'll see.
on this whole deal. And so we'll see what we get through. This is going to be fair, like a 50-50 mixture, just so you know, of like serious and not. But it's all the same, really. So let's get started. You ready?
We're going to do this. I get to do this to you after this.
Yeah, so episode 6, you guys can kind of predict, will be more than likely the Kate interview. Definitely going to be a lesser episode compared to this. I'm conducting this one, so you can expect, But
Are you okay? But is that? I don't know if that's an insult on me because
right.
Is it because you're more boring, or is it because I'm bad at questioning? I'm more interesting, and you're just a good interviewer.
I feel like I think that it's the mystery that really makes it.
I think it'd be me that makes this interview, not you.
I feel like you're really throwing the whole interview off right now by stifling my questioning. Are you ready for your first question?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. So,
jump right in.
What's your name? And what isn't your name?
Okay. My name is full name.
You don't have to do full name. You don't have to disclose anything you don't want to disclose during this interview.
All right.
Okay.
All right. My name is Sophia Marie Brown.
Okay.
What my name isn't anymore is Sophia Marie Phipps, since,
Right.
that
right.
happened.
There's the marriage aspect of
yeah,
it.
There's
now,
that.
I'm gonna.
But I have a feeling that I know what you're referencing in that question.
Okay, I was wondering if you might start to pick up on what I'm putting down. Go ahead. So,
what my name is not.
What is your name not?
Not.
Yeah. What is your name not?
Sophie.
Right. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Your name is not
Bubbles.
And your name is not. Hey, look, you're taking this as far
Wait,
as
you keep going.
This, okay?
I don't need you to be like the
interviewer.
The takeout drive-through lady. And then.
Dude, where's my car reference for those that don't know? So, Sophie isn't your name.
No.
Okay.
It's an A, not an E.
Interesting. So, why does that matter? Why does that matter is the next question.
Literally? That's
yeah. So,
number 2.
what makes that relevant for me to bring up? Why does that matter?
Because I'm particular about it. And I was very particular about it when I was a kid.
Okay, all right. And so would you say that people have called you that, very frequently? Sophie, that is. Sophie, i.e.
I mean, not very frequently, because usually I do correct them. And thankfully, people have been considerate and have asked before.
Yeah.
And recently, I think, it was Alexis that asked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
Shout out Alexis. You're awesome.
Yeah, Alexis Goffner is amazing. But, it's an A at the end of my name.
Right.
And I, like people to read and notice that it's an A and not an E, and I've always thought that ever since I was a kid. Very, very few people were allowed to call me Sophie. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Noted. So that's only question 1.
Oh.
As we keep going, if there are ones that you feel like you don't want to dive into, you don't have to. But I'm just saying all of them can be kind of as grandiose or small as you'd like them to be.
Okay.
But on the technical side of what we're doing, because this is our first time back in a while and we're experimenting with our setup, as you see me sort of glance in directions at the camera or back over my shoulder, please don't judge me for it. I'm just continuously making sure in a state of paranoia that we are still recording. So don't let that take you out of this interview. That's the important thing, is the interview.
We don't have our own Jamie or our own
we don't have a third person yet.
Our set is the bedroom.
That is something that we will work on. Hopefully you guys like the look of it and sound of it anyway. So here's what's next. You just had a birthday, but how old do you feel? I won't disclose your age unless you'd like to disclose your age. It might be surprising for some people.
I'd like to say that I feel older than I am, but I've never been that age before, so I can't truthfully say that.
Right.
In general, I think the population is looking younger, as you know.
I agree.
Younger as we get older.
Right.
We're looking younger longer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still feel like a solid. I don't think anything's really changed since 22, 23.
Okay.
Feels the same.
Yeah. I guess you could say that that's a good thing.
And I feel like that's a notable age just because, well, I guess that's when we got married, right? We met when we were 20.
Boy, yeah, it's something like that. It was I can see over there. Well,
married at 23.
Yeah, married at 23. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think so. Boy, we should probably know this. It's not been that long.
Well, yeah, and then it's been 4 years, so that.
But yeah, so
out.
you feel like 22 or 23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's good. All right. Well,
solid answer.
Yeah, I'd say so. Here's some more information about you. You're a picky eater. So what makes a good meal?
First of all,
proximity to microphone feel pretty good to you? Feeling good? I'm just making sure. I'm
so.
Second guessing mine too. Again, folks, that's not what's important here. Mostly it's the interview, and we can see, we're cruising right along. But back on topic is
checking in.
Back on topic is that you're a picky eater. So again, what makes a good meal?
What makes a good meal is feeling good and excited to eat it.
Right.
That's what makes it good.
Yeah, there's a lot that can take away from a good meal.
What is, it doesn't necessarily matter what the meal is.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much settings, surroundings, feelings, and just preferences in the moment. If it's not what I'm wanting, it's not a good meal.
Right. And so it's the preference outside of the actual dish. So it's not necessarily a bad dish.
No, it's not a bad dish.
That's not, I don't know, because there are things that can make a dish really bad.
Right. I guess I'm talking more about the experience of a good meal.
Okay, so
than the meal itself. I guess the meal itself, again, it just depends on if I'm wanting it.
I don't know. I kind of want you to dive deeper here because I'm thinking to myself, look, the environment we eat in, the aesthetic around us, it's like paper plates and, faux lights. And we're hanging out by computer screens most times that we're having any given dish. So I feel like that shouldn't have that big of an effect. Let's really get to the truth of this. I want to know, what makes a good meal to you as far as the meal. What is there a thing that is more apt to allow you to enjoy it? Is there a specific thing?
Are you talking about the whiteness?
Ooh, interesting. I wouldn't have ever thought.
That's exactly what you're referring to.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's really not.
Okay, so what I'm referring to when I say the whiteness, because that can come off a little bit
racy, huh? Jeez.
Hey, you said it, not me.
You're pushing it. You're really pushing it.
I really like... Okay, so on pizza, I love an Alfredo sauce. I'm gonna go with Alfredo over the marinara.
Yep.
If I'm gonna have like spaghetti, I'd like their
spaghetti. Some might say spaghetti.
Sure. I like to add Alfredo to it because I like a creamy marinara, or like a vodka sauce, which is just marinara with a whole bunch of Parmesan in it to make it creamy.
Yep.
What else? Enchiladas. Like, right. I like the creamy green chicken chili chicken. Oh boy. Green chili chicken enchiladas that have a cream sauce versus the red sauce. Kind of that way in meat too. Sometimes I prefer, no, I can't say that because I've been really liking steaks lately.
She's like this is a steak and potatoes kind of person, like a real meat and potatoes kind of person that can really get on board.
Very plain. I like things not like super seasoned. Salt, garlic, onion. Wait for more. I don't really need more than that.
Right. It's that feels like kind of
simplicity. If I'm gonna cook hamburger, just maybe a little bit of salt. Not even that. Sometimes just cook it, and the hamburger as is. Don't put any seasoning on it. Yeah, I love it that way.
Yep. You know, I gotta say, more and more there are aspects of it that I like, but there are times when well, look, this isn't about me, okay? So let's just say this though, okay? I've known you for like 7+ years, so isn't there something better you could have been doing with your time?
What?
All this time.
Are you talking out of not in relation to the food?
Yeah, I mean,
just in general.
You've spent
something
7
better
years like this.
I mean,
wow, this really feels like I'm just fishing for compliments, doesn't it? That's okay. Scratch that one. We don't need it. Okay. All right, let's move on. Here we go. We've got plenty. God. That's fine.
No, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing than spending my time with you.
How sweet. That's wonderful. I love that for us. Wow. Why make...
I love you.
Hey, I love you too. Why make Lost Locals Media? Why make it?
So it's something that could be ours, that we can control and have complete freedom to express ourselves creatively, even though we put our own rules on ourselves and always struggle with that.
Right.
But that's
build it up to break it down. I'm just saying words.
I'm not going to agree with that. But
yeah. So try and create something that we can actually feel like it's, sort of like our reality that we are molding. It really feels like we are kind of at the helm of this thing. Is that kind of on par with what you think?
Yeah, and it's one of the few things that I can come up with that allows us to use our creative multi-tool of talents in all aspects, and just trying to make it work. And I believe it'll work. We believe it'll work. It's just getting there, and we're just cresting. Yeah, this summer is 6 years of doing it full time.
Yeah,
and
feels like even more, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the struggle's real. So.
Indeed. So. Now that's fair enough. Okay, so looking at Lost Locals Media, then, what sparked your interest in graphic design? You've been doing a lot of that lately. And so, what sparked your interest in graphic design, and kind of, do you have a specific thing that drove you to it?
Well, I've always had the artistic itch. I've always loved drawing. When I was younger, it was drawing. I loved, really into realism, tried to, and not saying tried like I didn't do it, but I just really enjoyed it. But I always had personal frustrations of, like, I'd complete a drawing, but I wasn't fully satisfied because my hands weren't capable of fully getting to that perfection, because, you know, I'm a perfectionist. I hold myself to this.
Whatever do you mean, darling?
I was like, my hands can't make photorealism as I'm sitting in 7th grade art, and frustrated by that. And so through kind of high school, I always in high school I was pushing off art as any type of a career path idea. I was like, that's not going to be successful. I need to do something else.
See, that's kind of a perfect... Go ahead.
But, so the whole art thing and pursuing it kind of went to the backside. Very few just personal projects of like, oh, I want to do this for myself.
Yeah.
With like months gap in between. Like, I haven't done a physical drawing on paper or painting or anything in a couple years, which is one of those things I'm looking to find time to do and satisfy the creative need. But anyway,
I want to see that too, by the way. Anytime that Sophia has gone through and actually done physical medium for her artwork, it's been really fun. And it's been like here and there fandom stuff too. Like being able to, one of her favorite bands is 21 Pilots, who we are going to go see soon again. This will be like the 3rd time together that we've seen them. And a couple different times she has made drawings. They're really dusty if you were going to grab for one. We'll have to show them some point, just like on stories. But you know, of the 2 band members, she's made awesome drawings of them in the past. And then at a certain point, you did like this really cool, like somewhere between realistic and stylized version of my eye, like a picture of my eye, which was awesome. Those were really fun. I love those. So I'm looking forward to a time when we end up doing that again.
Yeah, so I want to do that again.
You do that again.
soon, but so frustrated by not being able to perfect my hands.
Right.
And doing realism, because that was my passion. I loved making realistic stuff over abstract art, though I have interest in abstract art as well.
Yeah.
I jumped to photography because suddenly with photography I had the realization that I could, with photo manipulation software and just real on-set camera trickery of the eye, make cool art that literally was, because it was capturing realistic
photo.
Realism. It's time captured. I could perfect the art of what I wanted to see in my head, make it come to life. And
that's so cool. And I understand from both perspectives being like, well, I still wish I could do that. I still wish that I could do the physical medium of the actual, like, whether it's drawing, painting, whatever it is, and create that, but being able to revert to a place where you can creatively fulfill that. And maybe because of the way that you do it, you can expand on it in a completely unique way, because there's a lot of time that goes into doing something on paper, even with like pencil, or you can reduce some of that time and have even more expression with multiple projects with something like photography. Right. So that's amazing. But I do want to expand on that question by saying, do you have a current graphic design inspiration, like as far as another artist that you're looking at currently? Somebody, that you wouldn't mind mentioning if one even exists?
Boy.
I know it's kind of tough to recall on the spot, but...
And to wrap up the question a little bit, jumping from photography now back into graphic design is
go ahead. No, it's your interview.
Well, I didn't even answer your question yet. I know I'm really bad and tangential, but
no, you're completely
didn't
fine.
Even answer the question.
Go ahead.
But the jump back into graphic design is just simply like, I wanted to start drawing and using my hand again, and though it's been digital and kind of on a screen, it's been really fun to take people's ideas that they can't necessarily get to picture themselves, and I can try to, put my spin on it. Right. That is my own creative influence, I guess.
Yeah.
But make these really cool graphic art pieces, and to me, I like aesthetics and piecing things together and looking at small details that make a big picture. And the concept of making a branding package just like fueled a fire of satisfaction, because I'm like, ooh, color palettes, aesthetics, matchy, that's like super excited to do all of that. So
yes, and that actually really does flow into the next section of the question. This is kind of a 3-parter,
right?
Which is like, is there a specific aesthetic that's addicting to you right now? even if that has to replace the question of if there's an artist, is
right.
there like
an aesthetic that I like? I really like. There's like a new age trend right now that's a little bit like retro-y with really blocky letters with a little bit of rounded. I don't know how to describe it. See, this is why I do it with physicals.
Right. This
like,
is why
I can't use my words.
You sit down and you make it. You
right. I'm like, let me show you.
I'm the wordy guy.
Yeah.
I'm the wordy guy, and you are very much the, like, you can put it out.
Right. I even struggle with that with doing horse lessons, is I'm like, just watch me.
Yes. I'm going to show you this.
Yeah, I can't like quickly word out which leg I want you to put where and where I want your hand. Hey, so just like
anyone that's ever had a photo session with us ever recall a point where Sophia said left when she meant right?
Yes. Or
though I feel like a lot of people do that. That's not uncommon at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then it was worse. Another tangent. When I was a kid, I used to. So it was a correct L for me, but I put it on my forehead and it's backwards. So yes. I'd be like, loser to like someone else, and they're like, wrong hand.
It bounces so hard right back off to you. Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm real smart.
You also saying that you did that to kids. Sounds a little rough.
Well,
you were not a bully in any way.
No, not at all. It's not like, I mean, it's usually been like after they do it to me or honestly to my cousins. Like, I don't.
Who deserve it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of, now that we're talking about school, it's this is a good one for you. So you did well in school. You have always been a logical person. And I'm not even kidding about this, so like you've always been, it seems like a very logical person in how you work and operate, and kind of operating based on merits. And so making it in the creative field is a tough route to travel, knowing the inherent risks at play. So the question really is, why take the risk? And now moving into this portion of your 20s, what are your merits?
That's a deep one. Can I skip that one?
I can throw you different parts of it.
Yeah, break it down just a little bit.
Got it. So yeah. Anyway, so kind of playing off of that, what makes a good Red Bull?
Okay, it's gotta have enough fizz to it. Because I know this is a thing. Sometimes when you order a Red Bull from we're talking about coffee shop, I don't necessarily just do cans of Red Bull. Gotta go and get a flavored Red Bull from a local coffee shop. And not Dutch.
Shop local.
Yeah, not Dutch. Though I don't mind Dutch every now and then. It's got...
We had Dutch roast today.
Local small coffee shops. My favorite flavor is orange. Notice how I said it. Yes. Orange. Yeah. Pineapple and guava all together.
Keep telling them about this. It's important that they know.
He's checking. And I can tell if you have used a Red Bull that's been opened already, that maybe you couldn't dump the whole can in the previous order's Red Bull, so it's left over and you put it back in the fridge. Obviously it's still open. The fizz is actively leaving. I can tell when you use a flat Red Bull.
Yeah, so watch out. And that's pretty much, I would say, that's pretty much, that's pretty much what your merits are. And so we can...
What?
Yeah, right. Well, it's really...
Did you do a drawing?
Oh, no, nothing. You can't look at this paper. So... do you want to revisit that question or skip it, because it's really your right to say no to any given question during an interview?
You'd have to ask the question again.
Yeah, here we go. So you did really well in school and have always been a hyper-logical person, and that's really, it's a good thing. So making it in the creative field is a tough route to travel, knowing the inherent risks at play, and so why take the risk? What are your merits? I mean, we get it. You like Red Bull a specific way, but... what do you think of, how you've traveled this very difficult path of creativity?
I feel like a loose cannon because I do like things to make sense, and though things have kind of made sense, there is a lot of risk, and I wouldn't have done a lot of it without you.
Oh,
so
thank you.
There's one of the reasons. You're one of my merits.
I'm glad I can guide you into chaos and danger.
Yeah, and open up my credit debt. Let's not go there. I love you.
So?
Yeah, no, I just really looking forward to having freedom of the schedule a lot of times, and not having to leave you all the time made sense to go down this route. I feel like this... Am I answering the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, really, these questions, it's all up to your interpretation. There's not a right answer.
That makes me second guess everything. Because is there a right answer? I don't want to be...
So what I'm getting is
illogical.
Yeah, right. That wouldn't suit you very well. But what I'm hearing is that you understand the risks and you're accepting them and moving forward in
passion, in pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. Doing the best you can, really. Taking the risk. Because you understand the risk. Mm-hmm. And so you take it.
And I'm not sure if there's anything I'd rather be doing.
That's awesome. That's what we like to hear.
We.
So, yeah, right. Me and the audience. Right, audience? Yeah. So, our next question is kind of equally as important in many ways, and that's kind of, who makes the best bread?
John.
John makes the best bread. This isn't any kind of intentional shout out, is it?
I mean, shout out to John Brewer, who makes the best bread. He's an amazing guy, older gentleman, veteran from Vernonia, who seriously makes the best bread, and he delivers it all over the county. You just gotta place an order with his wife online on Facebook and get yourself the best sourdough you've ever had.
We legitimately weren't paid for this. They make really good sourdough, and it doesn't hurt a sensitive stomach, Yep. And there's lots of varieties. So anyway, John makes the best bread. That's the answer to that question.
Yeah, that is the only bread that Cade can eat without his stomach hurting.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the orange cranberry white chocolate loaf. It's incredible.
Yeah,
sweet.
Next level.
If you want a sweet loaf, if you want a savory loaf,
I always like a sweet loaf.
Always. Okay.
It just sounds like a funny set of words to say. A sweet loaf.
Sweet loaf.
I like a sweet loaf.
I like a savory loaf.
You do.
A cheddar and garlic, or Parmesan and garlic, or cheddar jalapeno. He does it all. Seriously, check it out.
John's bread. Okay, cool. So, here we are at sort of a third of the way through, maybe more than that. We'll see how all this goes. It's kind of up to you. And I just want to kind of preface this by saying this is a different section of the interview. Things are changing from this point.
Okay.
So at this point, I want you to picture this. You appear in a fantasy realm.
Yes.
Okay? And you're in sort of a grassy field. And just beyond the grassy field, there's kind of a tree on your right. You can see a big tree on your right, and there might be something in the ground sort of near it. And there's all this grass, and then on your left you can see that there is this big stream rushing through, curving, and it curves in front of you. And then there's this wooden bridge. But there is inherent danger. You've been on this path for a while, and you're aware that there's generally danger on your paths. And out beyond the bridge is a goblin around shrubbery. There is a goblin, and he is rushing toward you. So, keeping in mind what your environment looks like, you can kind of take a look here. I'll let you see. There's the goblin, okay? And there's you. And so everybody on camera, whoops, we messed up the skull. Someone's going to sue me. That is, the map that Sophia's looking at. And so there's the goblin, and he is rushing at you. Really, you should view it from this angle. And so what do you do? He's running. You can pretend I'm the goblin. He's running.
Clock's ticking.
It's not really clear what is happening, but he's getting there. He's getting there right now.
What do I have on me?
Boy, you have...
That's right, DM. Be prepared.
Hold on. Let me see. You have preserved meat chunks
That's it.
on you right now. And so he's moving. He worked, covering ground right now. What do you do? What do you do?
I'm going to dash.
You dash forward, okay? You're dashing forward. Got it.
I'm going to dash
How
forward.
far? What are you... Yeah. There's a lot going on around you.
And I am
yours.
going to dash forward up to the bridge.
Okay, all the way to the bridge, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you get to the bridge. He's kind of getting toward the bridge, too.
I'm going to make sure he sees the meat chunks in my hand.
Oh, okay.
Out of my equipment.
Got it. So you're going to dangle the meat chunks?
And then I'm going to toss them. Be like, yoo-hoo, smell this.
Uh-huh.
And which way is the wind blowing?
Oh man, so the wind is actually blowing. You can kind of see that the wind is ushering along the river.
River?
Yeah, so it's kind of blowing across.
Okay, then I'm going to throw the meat chunks.
Yeah.
Just over the bridge over here.
Oh,
so that he
wild. So
upwind.
You throw that meat chunk right there.
Yes.
Okay, so he kind of looks. He looks over toward your meat chunk.
Does he look hungry?
Yeah. Yeah.
He does?
He looks hungry.
Insight.
Oh, no. See,
I can't check.
No, you can't check that stuff. This is a different kind of, turn-based game. So you throw those meat chunks there. Some of them land, some of them hit the water, and they kind of trail off in the water down the stream. Lost
Saturated.
Forever.
Yeah.
Saturated. And so the goblin is right here, and he kind of looks sort of confused in the direction of where you threw those meat chunks.
Because they smell, right? There's some of them on the bank that smell.
There's some of them on the bank that smell, but he's not really interested.
So he's not hungry?
But he's hungry, but he's not going for preserved meat. It doesn't smell that much anyway. It's kind of jerky-ish.
What does he prefer?
Well, he looks at you with hungry eyes, and so he decides that he's going to start going across the bridge. And so he takes the first step onto the bridge. The question is, what do you do? Because he's clearly coming for you.
And I have nothing else on me.
You have nothing else on you. Oh, interesting. Out of the shrub that's right next to the bridge, a wolf pup comes out.
Oh, no.
And he's creeping around the goblin. The goblin doesn't even notice him. He's creeping, and and he goes over to the preserved meat. And so he's eating it. But the goblin looking at you. He has no idea that this is happening. And he begins crossing the bridge. What do you do?
Can I try to befriend the dog, the puppy? How old is this puppy?
You did have preserved meat on you. You did before.
That's my preserved meat.
Right. He's eating it.
Does he know? Hey, that's my preserved meat. You're welcome. That was because of me.
He sort of snarls at you from across the way as he's eating. God. What do you do?
I'm...
5.
He's still coming at me?
3. He's coming.
I'm going to say stop.
1. Oh, he stops mid-bridge, and you hear this weird creaking sound. And as you hear this creaking sound, you kind of look at him. And he looks a little confused. He looks down at his feet.
That's right.
The bridge was very rickety.
Yeah, that's right. He was too fat.
He falls in the water.
He just fell right in.
That fat goblin starts floating.
He should have known better. See, I didn't go over the bridge. I looked and I paid attention. I knew that wasn't a safe bridge.
He floats away down the river. He is trying to swim toward you, but he does float away. And I'll say this.
Goblins can't swim.
Of the outcomes that could have happened, I'll say this. He does drown in that river. I wasn't expecting that one. There were a lot of ways you could have played that and it would have gone wrong. But the fact that you made him stop on that bridge was the saving grace of this.
Right.
So I will give you this.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
That was very nice. Would you like to know a couple of the other things that we had in store?
Sure.
Okay. So you missed the tree. I had said that there was this big tree, and I had said that there was something kind of in the ground near the tree.
Oh, I didn't get the ground near the tree part.
That's okay. You could have looked at the illustration, too, because it's not regular.
Well, I just saw it was just like a scribbly...
So there was a chest,
scribble,
and I'll say that there was
That's
sure,
yeah,
there was a chest buried next to the tree, and
I had time to dig it up.
You definitely could have just accessed the top of the chest, and you would have gotten a bow, but there's a very wishy-washy chance that you would have actually hit him. And maybe he would have just had time before you could figure out using the bow to just rush to you and eat you.
You're saying I was not skilled in bow?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say if you would have been skilled enough, I would have given you maybe a 60% chance of hitting him, because he's pretty big. Now, you could have gone to the bridge, and maybe you and the goblin would have floated the river together. You could have quickly crossed the bridge, and in quickly crossing the bridge, you might have befriended, the wolf, and he would have protected you because he saw the meat that you would toss to him and help you out. It's hard to say how that would have gone, but yeah.
So many ways.
There's really a lot that could have happened there. I just want to say, of the ways it could have gone, boy, whew, that was a good one. So nice job. Anyway, so on to our next section of the interview. What makes you love the horse world?
I was placed on a big old paint horse when I was under a year old, and that's probably where it all started. I fell in love, and then along came the movie Spirit. And that really, I didn't have a horse yet, but when Spirit came out, I was like, oh boy, I want a horse.
Boy.
And then, of course, my mom had the Breyer horses, and my mom, she had old photos of her with her horses, and it was just like meant to be. I was always asking for a horse, and then it just kind of like literally a horse appeared up the road, not even a mile away from my house, and she was the best thing ever, and I still have her. And then it was just horses.
That'd be Lucy.
Yep.
Very cool. Now, what makes you hate the horse world? I really messed up how I said that question. What makes you hate the horse world? Conversely, on the opposite side, what really gets you?
Well, just two things. One, vet bills.
Oof.
Injuries.
But I'm gonna write that down.
But I could say the same about the dog world with that one.
Really, any animal world, right?
Yeah, they're just expensive and they hurt when they leave. So that's
absolutely. That's a great answer there.
Second,
anything else you want to know?
Reason is probably just a lot of the people.
Okay.
It's hard to find real good people that you can trust. Because everyone thinks that they know best, and it's no fault to their own. It's just people care about their animals and they have opinions, and sometimes it gets ugly, but at the same time, on the other side of the coin, sometimes it's amazing, and those are also some of the only friends I've ever had are horse people.
Right.
And they're the closest people. I'd trust them to do anything, and
right.
Yeah, it's risky, and it sucks when it goes bad.
Makes sense. Yeah,
but
no, those
honestly,
are
it's just the people, and when you unfortunately see moments of it, again, I could say the same thing about the dog world. It's the owners, not necessarily ever the animal's fault.
Right.
It's just seeing poor choices done by owners.
Right.
But again, that's me proclaiming that I'm not claiming to know everything, but it certainly puts me on some rung on the ladder.
Sure. I mean, everybody's going to have... anytime there are animals, it's going to be pretty polarizing. Most things are pretty polarizing. So there's a little good, a little bad. Just had to... We wanted to know, is what it is. We wanted to know what the good is, what the bad is. So there's a little bit of it. So the real question is, why aren't you rich?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, being in the horse world.
Well, I'm
a little bit. I mean, well, you're at least around it, but never mind that. Why aren't you rich just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah.
It's hard times. I'm self-employed.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we've heard all that before, so.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you do?
From money.
Same. I feel that.
And I have horses, and I'm thankful to have a support system that continues or allows me to still have them in my life.
Absolutely.
But it's nothing lavish, certainly. They're well cared for, but it's not fancy by any means.
Sure. I mean,
I polish a turd really well.
Look, some people, there's a variety of different perspectives that might look at that and go like, that is lavish. And sometimes, sometimes you might think that it is, polishing a turd, but I would say it just depends on where you're looking from. So what would you do?
It is all perspective. I'm very lucky to have all that I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm not trying to drill into your head anything. I'm just trying to extract here. And so, what would you do if you were rich?
Is that assuming debt is gone?
Yeah. We're coasting.
Yeah, debt's all gone.
Yeah.
If I was rich.
Yeah. Give me like 1 or 2 things that you'd do for sure if you were rich. And let's just say that stuff's taken care of.
Probably look at finding us a studio setup for the business.
Yeah.
And probably a home.
Make him work a little more fun, a little bit more badass.
Yeah, maybe get health insurance.
Oh, dude. I don't know.
That'd be nice.
That's pushing it. That's really pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Got that. I'd like to have insurance on the animals.
Right.
That'd be peace of mind.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I like it. So definitely going to keep working and take care of everybody's health. That's admirable qualities. I mean, no one could say any different.
Eat really, really good food.
Right, food that's actually,
healthy.
it's good for you.
Yeah.
Probably be able to affordably
I have
shop
always
local.
Okay. There is one there's always I'd want a house, a barn, all of those things that are you could dream of. But one thing I will say, if I am comfortably rich, I want a personal chef. Oh, personal chef, please,
dude,
please.
That would be
so good. I'd eat so healthy all the time. Just take care.
I would enjoy
Just
that
feed
too.
Me.
That's solid. That's pretty good. Okay.
That might seem weird, but
no. I think it's one of those things where cooking. Now, I would say this: if you had enough money, I mean, you enjoy cooking.
I enjoy cooking.
You enjoy cooking, so maybe sometimes it would be something that you do, but you do it when it seems like it's convenient and when it seems like it's like a celebration of the act of cooking.
Right.
I would guess. But besides that, I think that cooking oftentimes gets a little bit in the way of the productivity that we, try and hold ourselves to some degree. And so
all it is
perspective, right?
Yeah, it just comes from half the day I'm so focused on work and I don't think about food when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to instead have someone who is thinking about food and ensuring that I have something that is healthy and fulfilling and not just cheap, quick, and whatever was easiest because it's 10 o'clock in the at night and I forgot to eat all day.
Right. That is something that happens with us a ton.
Yeah, that's the whole personal chef, just having someone that's here, it's ready.
Meal prep is done.
Yeah. You don't have to stress about it. Don't have to I have to go to the grocery store. I have to make sure I eat something good. And
that's one of those weird little things about what we do too is summer schedule comes around and really plays with when we actually eat. And it really does throw it off.
Yeah.
It totally does. So, I guess, the next most interesting question, I've got a lot. There's a lot. So, you let me know if you're getting tired. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's already happened. We're on the downhill slope
We're at
now.
45 minutes.
Here's the thing, though. There's more. So, let's bring the mood up. Are you inspired by anything recently? Now, I'm thinking movies, music, games, people, art overall. But, is there anything that really, when you're approaching it, when you're experiencing it, it's kind of a gift to your soul, where you're thinking to yourself, this is bringing me up. You inspired by anything? If I had a spotlight, by the way, folks, while Sophia's thinking about this, if I had a spotlight right now, I would be beaming it. Just beaming it right onto Sophia.
Wow. You, honey.
No!
You're my inspiration.
Dang it. Oh. All right. That really messes up my interview. Because my follow-up question was going to be, why wasn't your answer me? You bastard.
I got you.
You've stolen it from me.
You sweetie.
You're so admirable. That's so very sweet of you.
You make it easy to say. That,
Heart emoji.
Like, you are
heart emoji.
My inspiration.
I love that. If you do want to pepper in anything that actually has been inspiring you recently, I'm not blocking you from doing that with my stupid jokes. It's okay if you don't have anything immediately, but just...
Maybe not inspiring, but obsessed with.
Go ahead.
Just House of the Dragon. Like, it's been on my mind.
Especially from the last episode.
Like, the last episode was so good, and they...
No spoilers.
Of course, yeah. They just focused more on the dragons, and I'm like, dragons! Ugh. And, you know, memorizing all the dragon names, and who the riders are, and whose daughter's who. It goes a little too deep. Yeah, just a little bit obsessed. Been really... The last couple of movies we've went and seen have been pretty... amazing, from the Bike Riders.
The Bike Riders, yes.
The Iron Claw.
Yes.
Well, that's what was the other one right before Bike Riders that we went and watched?
Furiosa?
No.
There might have been a different one.
That reminds me.
So, Sophia likes to keep her movie tickets.
I still haven't put those away.
Yep.
I think that one's Bike Riders.
Is this? Yep, that's the Bike Riders, folks.
Yeah.
Bike
movie
Riders.
Tickets. I have saved every movie ticket since 2016.
We'll go ahead and file that. Right there. Right there.
On the floor. Cool.
Perfect.
Yep.
So, knowing that you were inspired by those movies, that's really good. Now, I mean, really, right back into it, how does your career contribute to your idea of a better, more loving world? Okay, all right. Look, if not, how do you think that driving a Nissan has damaged you as a person?
I don't think it's damaged me. What are you doing?
Okay,
like,
all right.
Poo-pooing Nissan?
Look, no.
Like, it's been a great car.
Look, okay.
I mean, we have cracked the front windshield. We have cracked the rear windshield shattered. The tailgate does have
We're losing money right now. We're losing money.
There is a rock dent in the door.
This is...
The passenger side seat adjustment panel is popped off.
Look, again, sponsorship is just never gonna happen.
It's our only car
at this point. So I let's move on. What's your biggest fear?
Too much. Sorry.
What's your biggest fear?
Death.
Death.
Losing someone I love.
We can sit with that for a minute. All right. On to the more important stuff. What race and class do you play in Dungeons and Dragons?
I play Tabaxi Rogue.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And how's that going?
Amazing. I love her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about playing her right now?
Her alignment's chaotic neutral, so she's just kind of... And she's a pirate, and... very much Puss in Boots inspired, or Puss in Boots coded.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fun.
What's her name?
Xenia.
Awesome spelling too. That's Xnya. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I love it.
I just typed it with a Z the other day.
You can't go back on your own decision making. So, in that same vein, what's your favorite video game at the moment?
Well, it's always like favorite video game at the moment or of all time.
You can do both.
Red Dead of all time.
Red Dead? Okay.
At the moment.
Red Dead Redemption 2, that is.
Yes. At the moment, just, Battlefield.
Battlefield, yeah. So Steam Summer Sale happened. We picked it up for $6. Battlefield 2042.
Just because I do like a shooter game every once in a while.
Yeah, she's a big shooter. She likes the murdering with guns. is what she likes is that. And
It's fun because I was like really bad at video games, and I've kind of gotten a little bit. I still suck. I'm a little bit better.
pretty good sniper.
Yeah. I've been doing really good with the assault though.
Yeah, you picked that up. That's wonderful. Okay.
And then my driving, you saw that the other day. I like took out 10 people at once.
Yeah.
Just running them over.
Yeah,
anyway.
that back to back, that was incredible. Yeah, vehicular homicide is really...
Anyway.
Can I have $5?
I don't have any cash on me. I give all my cash to you.
That's okay.
You take all my money. He holds on to it.
Anyways, so what makes a good photo?
Sparkle.
Sparkle.
If
Define
it
that for
sparkles.
everybody.
This
isn't a pee break, but keep on telling people about what makes a good photo.
I like, when I say sparkle, it's a number of things that are just very loosely attached to that term. Sparkle can be meant literally, like if you are wearing, if it's someone, if there's a subject in the photo, if you're wearing rhinestones or glitter or anything like that, like that's a plus. It's sparkle. It creates light, just light refractions, and that's always interesting to see in the camera. Good depth of field, like having a lot of distance between your subject and the background, but not too much that just completely blurs out and you can't identify what it is, but enough that you see a focal length separation between your subject and the background, and it's really soft,
satisfying,
very, and it's like soft and crisp at the same time.
Right.
Lighting, I love a good 45-degree angle backlight of the sun. Recently supplemented with some off-camera lighting that has made just really nice dynamic range in color and I guess just stops of light, because everything is exposed perfectly, so you can really flex things, push things to not necessarily their limit, but
at the same time there's a lot more flexibility in many ways. Yeah.
What else makes a picture sparkle?
I mean,
just the subject matter and outfit coordination, I guess.
There we go. Yeah,
there
I would agree. For me, I would say that's at this point I've gotten to a place where I think, as far as I'm concerned, and what I usually think of as your preference, let me just insert that into you.
Please tell me.
Let me tell you what Sophia likes. Sophia likes incredible subject matter, very well coordinated outfits and colors, and that's the sparkle she's talking about, is like that texture pop of like having all the right things come together at the right time, planned well. And I think that's kind of the translation of that sparkle. And I know that because when you're happy with a picture, I think that's what it is. But again, I'm just, that's very presumptuous of me. You were explaining yourself, but the real question here is, so why would you use Sony over your Nintendo DS?
God, I wish I remembered what the megapixel count was on that camera.
Was it a megapixel?
Maybe.
Or was it under?
Maybe. It was like 5.
Yes.
Because Sony's amazing. Hands down the best.
But you did have a little time with the Nintendo DS, taking a couple of pictures, didn't you?
I did. And it had a really nice art editing section photo software on there, on that little Nintendo DS, and it put like a little star border, rainbow border around everything. Mm-hmm. I took it to the barn with me, took photos of my horses.
Yes.
Like it's the DS and it opens up like this, and you gotta turn it and hold it sideways to do a vertical photo.
Get your portrait on.
Yeah. And then the cool thing is you could upload them to Facebook from the DS.
From the DS? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it was amazing.
Sick. I love it. Yeah, at some point I think that we'll think of things like that as being pretty legendary. Keeping those photos is pretty
so yeah, I've come
pretty sweet.
A long way. I wish I could pull some pictures from my old phones, like my original phones.
We should work on that sometime and just see if we can get all of the compilation of old phone photos.
I wonder if I still have them at the house.
Probably.
At my parents' house somewhere.
Well, so on, in the realm of photo making, what's a photo concept that you've been dying to do, but that you haven't yet?
There's a few. One that comes straight to mind is I want to find, it's a horse shoot at the beach. I want to find someone who is very, very fair, pale, skin-toned I haven't decided yet if I want like a yin and yang situation going on where like she wears a black dress, but anyways, pale, white hair, almost like if I can find someone who is albino, that would be
a Targaryen.
Yeah, like I'm looking for Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
White dress paired with a cremello or near a white or gray horse that has very little pigmentation. That combo. And then on the complete other opposite side of the spectrum, finding a model who is very, very dark skin toned, wearing a black silk dress,
mm-hmm.
with a very dark black horse.
I'm happy that you bring this up.
Doing that at I'd dream of having it at the Salt Flats.
Dude,
that would be amazing. Or the sand dunes,
mm-hmm.
either the ones up in Washington or the ones in Oregon. But I think it's harder to get horses at the ones in Oregon.
Right.
But
that would
ultimately
be
at a beach would be fine. Just this like kind of barren landscape.
Yes.
If I could shoot it, I'd even go just all black and white. Like that would be one of my dream shoots right now at the moment.
If anybody out there wants to partake in that and feels like they could play a part, you fill either one of those roles, mm-hmm. hit us up sometime.
If you can ride bareback as well in a dress, that would be...
Yes. That would kind of be...
And I'm thinking of
essential.
I would love to find percherons, a black and a white percheron. Similar, because the horses, models I would like them to be similar height, similar body build, body type.
It's literally horses, yin and yang.
Yeah,
it's like symmetry,
I want a yin
opposites.
and yang shoot so bad.
Symmetry with opposites. I love that. Yeah, okay. All right, so this is, it's going pretty well.
Mm-hmm. We're at almost an hour.
Yeah.
2 minutes till we hit an hour.
Yeah, so I feel like that's pretty good. And
how many questions?
Yeah, I have a couple more. We're gonna dive into some interesting stuff. A little apprehensive to bring this one up, but I think I'm gonna do it. So you've touched Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco.
I have touched
his sweaty back, and you did it before you met me.
Mm-hmm.
You did it before you met me. Should I feel insecure about that? Especially knowing that you have never paid to touch my sweaty back.
I get to touch your sweaty back for free.
That's disgusting.
No, it's not.
That's disgusting.
You wanted me to pay for it?
You paid to touch his? I'm just trying to feel... Alright, so this is where we would actually do... This is a sponsorship break. This is normally where that would go. So I just want to give a second here.
We're not sponsored.
Hey, no, hang on. Sponsorship break. So that's where we put one of those. So feel free to reach out. Thanks. Anyway, give me your top 3 reasons that you think people should trust you.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yes. Right? That's one.
I don't think there needs to be any more.
All right, let's hit it up. How about 3 reasons you think people that just should trust you with their brand or logo or photos?
Because I'm nitpicky.
That one almost covers all 3. The level of nitpickiness is pretty freaking substantial. It's up there. But do you have another 2?
Bring a lot of different ideas to the table.
How close are you to the thing?
I bring a lot of different ideas to the table.
I want them to really hear this. Yeah. Okay. And do you have a final one? You have a diverse selection of ideas. You're very particular about how you end up going through the process.
I don't have an aesthetic that I stick to personally, but I will make your brand an aesthetic.
Okay.
Meaning, if you want anime, I will make it happen. If you want modern, simple, I will make it happen. If you want foil and gold and big WWE branding level, I'll make it happen. I won't stick to a personal aesthetic as Lost Locals.
All right.
But I will make you an aesthetic.
All right. So what I'm getting is that your face is trustworthy and that you're picky.
As I have one of the worst resting bitch faces ever.
No, hush. Good. Picky, which is good for art. Exclamation point. Okay. And now, final one in that same realm, if we can hit it, is basically, why do you think that people should trust you? Give me like 3 reasons they should trust you on the road.
Oh. Well, because like I could boast about one thing, but I can't about another. Okay, so I got a 100 on my driving test. Flawless. Mm-hmm. No comments. Perfect score. I had to retake my written test. Failed it the first time.
I'm noting this. Failed. Underscore.
Though I did really good in school, book smart wise.
Yep.
I am better in the field than I am in the books.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Which is also why we've talked about this before, but I understand photography. I understand the exposure triangle for the most part, but I am also a very anxious person who gets lost in the moment. So there are sometimes technical failures on my part when it comes to working the camera correctly, and
this is your testament.
Laughing because he fixes my problems a lot.
Listen,
but I know what the picture should look like.
Yes. So I want to clarify that extra because you are a decent technical shooter. I am an obsessive technical shooter. You are obsessive about the appearance of what's happening within the frame. And that is where you are super strong, and that's our yin and yang. Is I obsess over the technicality of the image, you obsess over the actual content of the image. Mm-hmm. And that works beautifully.
It's so nice.
It's really, really cool. I do actually legitimately love that. So anyway, have you ever stolen something?
Okay, so I in kindergarten. I was in AM kindergarten class. There was a dusty rose pink Hot Wheel that had sparkle in it. I took that puppy home from school.
Oh boy.
Added it to my Hot Wheel collection. However, I was so proud of it. I showed my mom. And she's like, well, where did you get that? From school. Big mistake. Dun, dun, dun. And she's like, because you took it, other kids can't play with it. And that shattered my heart.
Wow.
And I was frankly scarred for life from ever stealing anything ever again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fair, as you should be, but I'll say that you did steal something after that. And it was my heart.
I was gonna say it. I saw it coming.
I beat you to it.
I saw it coming.
Hey, how about this? Any vandalism in your past?
I mean, the classics, writing in the sand, if you want to call that vandalism.
No, the sand.
We have left a sticker on a guardrail somewhere in California.
Yes, you can find that. It's probably got stickers over it.
Yeah, it's on the coast on some random guardrail in California.
No real vandalism of any kind? Nothing substantial? Nothing really interesting or noteworthy? Anything in your life?
I cut my bangs myself one time when I was little, and that was vandalism on myself.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. And how old were you when you did that?
3, 4, 5. I knew better, but.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's okay.
Vandalism.
That's probably good for vandalism.
Do you know of anything that I've done?
Oh, I know plenty, but I won't tell. Scariest thing that you've ever done? In your whole life, what is...
I usually don't do scary things. Because they're scary.
So it seems like if you had done one, it would stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Come on.
Yeah, nothing. I mean...
You got nothing. Okay, all right, so what I'm getting and what I'm notating here is that Sophia should take more risks.
Kill Tony's interview.
Oh, absolutely you would. That's okay, though.
What's the most interesting thing I've ever done in my life? Something interesting about me.
Yeah, you've got nothing. I mean, you've sat down for a couple of podcasts. That's pretty scary for you.
I mean, yeah, I don't like being in front of the camera, but
we're pushing that boundary.
I'm not, like, scared.
Nothing else stands out? That's pretty much it?
Maybe doing a speech in front of the whole school.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, did that go well?
I won the position.
Okay.
But
so it went pretty good.
Yeah, it went well.
Didn't leave you with any...
I'm not gonna, like... It was just, like, a real sweaty moment, for sure.
Right. Right. So, but, you kind of overcame that and it worked out.
I think I did decently, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Obviously better than the other guy.
Yeah, so, I mean, and look, you're a pretty shy person when it comes down to it.
Don't talk to me.
And so, that was a fear that you overcame. And so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, that's solid. So now, really what I want to know, all of that.
It's the scariest thing I've done. This is going to stump me for a minute.
It's okay. We can come back to it. We can even pick this up later on if you need to.
Okay.
Yeah. With that.
We don't need to.
Look, there's going to be another episode.
It's your turn. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. The real question, the final question to really seal this up, now that we've approached your fears of being in front of people, and we've approached it again as you're doing it here right now, in this very moment.
Notice my fidget toy?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. We've only been watching the whole time.
The whole time.
Me and the audience. So, audience, and you. Audience, you can answer this in the comments section or let us know on Instagram or wherever you want. But, Sophia, I want to know from you specifically. Was this interview any good?
I mean, it covered some things.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was alright.
We've gone through something like 36 questions, and we've done a decent job of it.
Did we hit all of them?
We've hit pretty much every single one. But overall, would you say, before I get to my final bit here, that's been a good interview?
I think so.
Okay. And what's more important than that is the question, are you more badass than you were on episode 4 of this podcast? I want you to really think about that. From that point, a year or more ago, are you more badass now here on episode 5 of the Kinda Lost podcast?
You know what? Another fun fact. 5 is my favorite number.
We hit it.
So I gotta say it. I'm gonna say it.
Say it.
I'm gonna say it.
Don't you hold back.
I'm gonna say it.
Don't you hold back now. You tell us.
5 is the best episode, and I think I feel fucking badass after this. I ain't never gonna stop.
This has been episode 5 of the Kinda Lost podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, this was the Sophia interview. Right here on the Kinda Lost podcast. And next time, I'm not sure exactly when.
At some point,
soon.
The next time he gets to drag me in front of the camera.
Consistency is coming. Consistency is coming. We will be interviewing none other than me. That's me right here. And so what I want to leave us with is just a little bit of what we learned, okay? I just want everybody to know a little bit of what we've learned.
He takes really good notes.
Look.
By the way, pages and pages of
Here's
notes.
the deal. I've been, I usually have a phone for this. I've been handwriting. These are shoddy notes, but we're going to go over them. So, her name, it's spelled with an A, not an E. That's one important thing that we've garnered from this, is that your name, it ends with an A, not an E.
Ah, not E.
And you feel more like you're 22 or 23 than you do your actual age. Honestly, when you're going to eat something, plain or white foods, you like to keep it a little bit bare, but that's okay. It's right for you. Animal people, vet bills, right? Kinda not your thing. Those are a little shoddy. It can vary. You can like some animal people. Sometimes they're amazing. But there are times when animal people and vet bills suck.
Vet bills suck almost always.
Almost always. Everyone.
I guess unless if the other option was that the animal died.
Right, but that sucks. That's a major suck. I wish that you would have said that.
But it really sucks when the animal dies and you have vet bills.
Here's something. House of the Dragon is good. We both agree House of the Dragon is getting really good. It could end horribly just like the end of Game of Thrones ended. But House of the Dragon's getting good, and we know that now. We know Sophia thinks that. What else Sophia thinks? That, she thinks that she wants to do yin and yang horseshoe photo shoot. Horseshoe photo shoot. Horseshoe photo shoot. Say that a couple times.
Horse photo shoot.
She thinks that she wants to do a yin and yang style one. That's a little bit polarizing in a lot of ways, but it's a sign of the times that's what's on your mind. So, and outside of that, there was the fact that you have a trustworthy face, and we know that about you, and you're picky, and that's good for art. Right? It's good for art. There was a time when you vandalized your own face. We found out that you've stolen Hot Wheels. Those things are a little bit rough to know. But the good thing is that you got 100 out of 100 on your driver's test, and so you're a decent driver on the road. Except for the writing part of it. You did fail that, but that's okay. And so, overall, I think that what we've garnered here on this, the 5th episode, is that we're still kind of lost.
Very.
Kind of lost. I think I just spit.
You just gleeked.
I think I just gleeked at you.
Is that it? Yep.
That might be it. Oh, wow. I thought I was about to have to censor something. Folks, thank you for tuning in to the Kinda Lost Podcast, Episode 5, and we will see you
sometime
for Episode 6. Bye now.